Welcome back, students. As you all know, we have completed our chapter Biodiversity and its Conservation. In this video lecture, we are going to see the short summary about biodiversity and its conservation. Now, let's start. Students, at the end of this chapter, you all must be able to understand what is biodiversity, its definition, and different concepts. You all should understand the scope and significance of biodiversity. Why is it so important? After that, you all should understand the different levels of biodiversity, the genetic diversity, species diversity, and the ecosystem diversity. In the values of biodiversity, we have studied direct use values and indirect use values. In direct use values, we have studied consumptive use values and productive use values. And in indirect use values, we have studied social and cultural value, ethical and moral value, aesthetic value, and option value. After that, we have studied the different threats to biodiversity about habitat loss, poaching, and man-wildlife conflict. And in the end, we have studied the different conservation strategies of biodiversity, such as in situ conservation and ex situ conservation. Now, students, whenever the topic is related to biodiversity, the attitude of everyone changes to who cares. Now, it is we who have to take care of our biodiversity. Should we be concerned about biodiversity? What do we know about it? The Earth is losing species at an alarming rate. The Earth is losing species at an alarming rate, so that we have to take care of it. Some scientists estimate that as many as 3 species per hour are going extinct, and 20,000 extinctions occur each year. When species of plants and animals go extinct, many other species are affected also. Students, why should we conserve biodiversity? As we all know, by now, biodiversity is essential for maintaining the ecological functions, including stabilizing of water cycle, maintenance and replenishment of soil fertility, pollination and cross-fertilization of crops and other vegetation, protection against soil erosion, stability of food, producing and other ecosystems. Conservation of biological diversity leads to conservation of essential ecological diversity to preserve the continuity of food chains. So students, how can we protect biodiversity or how can we conserve biodiversity? So there are several strategies which are adapted for conservation of biodiversity. Some of these are different legislation, in situ and ex situ conservation, which we have already studied in our chapter. We should start recording indigenous knowledge, and community participation in biodiversity conservation is also very much essential. There are various international conservation strategies also that should be looked up to. So students, as we have studied, saving biodiversity is saving life. Now these are the some conservation actions that we should take up to. Like we should grow plant, and we should plant trees, and we should grow native species of plant, trees, shrubs and climber wherever it is possible. This would attract local wildlife such as birds, butterflies and insects. We should grow local vegetables in your hostel garden or in your home that are not usually available in markets. This would help conserve them for generations to come. You can grow them in your hostel gardens or your balcony garden. We should initiate organize and participate in responsible citizen action as a responsible citizen, and we should take action against existing or proposed activities that harm or are likely to harm local biodiversity. We should make a list of different kinds of trees in your campus or locality, in your college campus or your area home locality, for each one to find out the names and their uses, flowering seasons, and animals and birds that depends on it. And we should present this information in an interesting way and put it up by the tree. Many people will stop by to read this information and they will get to know more about the tree and will gain more knowledge. So, students, I hope you all will take up these actions to save our biodiversity and you will gain as much knowledge as possible through our unit Biodiversity and its conservation. Thank you.